Hey guys, welcome to the VOD. Tonight we're going to be covering the latest alpha patch notes that went live for the alpha patch on November 26, 2025. And yeah, it should be a not too long of a stream, but you wanted to get the alpha patch notes out there. Apparently my Chatterino doesn't work, so let me see if that works. Hi? No? That's weird. Uh-oh. Did I almost ban somebody on accident? I think that might have happened. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hold on, let me pull up the Twitch chat. My Chatterino is not working. Asteranian, Gunner Wolf, DevTrav, Veteran NPC, Ethereum 528, MMO Pug, Tank Tops Are Nasty, Namtrib, Pipes FL, Velnox, Filthy Casual, Red Wrist Rook, Enkidu, Jovstein, K-Jack, Housepanth, Frostradamus, Riddlebark, B. James, It's Marcy. Hey everybody, how's it going? Time to get jittery on coffee? No, Senlytic, I'm weaning off the cold brews again. Today I only drank 4 ounces of the Kirkland. Tomorrow I'm gonna do 2 ounces, and then yeah, so I think I'm a better person when I'm not on caffeine. Like, I just feel better. I think I think better. Like, I don't know. It's not, I don't think I need caffeine. I think I naturally just yap and do stuff, so. Hey, Apostate HS, thank you for the Prime. Let me try adding my account to Chatterino. Log in with Twitch. Do not show on stream. Okay, cool. Oh, I think it worked. Derelicts, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate that. What's on the docket tonight? So we're going to be covering the alpha patch notes. The alpha patch has dropped. The latest alpha patch. So lots of changes to go over. We could probably start by looking at the what's it called? The stats. So I did show off a initial like proposal for the stats, but we ended up reducing them a bit because the values were just too high for our formulas. Implicit Construct, thank you for the tier 1. Lasava, thank you for the Prime. And CCQ49, thank you for the Prime. So stats are looking more like this. You get 8 points, down from 10, but still up from, what was it? 6? And they're very similar theming. But there has been some adjustments to the fantasy. Notably, ogres aren't as dumb as I had made them. But a lot of the original intents that I had kind of set for things is retained. So this was a collaboration between Ollie and I. And yeah, so just kind of clicking through stuff real quick. And yeah. So it looks like the max is 27? Potentially? Well, let's see. Let's do Ogre Fighter. Yeah, 27 looks like the max. So you won't be dumping as many into one area. Senlytic, thank you for the 5 tier 1s. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Generous of you. $27 is a strange number. Yeah, the numbers are, you know, they're not as even as I'd like, but you know, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. We just have a crunched kind of stat paradigm, so you know, it's kind of something we're gonna have to live with for this. But I understand, you know, wanting numbers that are kind of like even. But to be fair, you know, like even EverQuest didn't really have even numbers per se. Like a lot of races were like 83 wisdom and stuff. So I don't know. I think it's okay. I think it's all right. 50 seemed nuts. Yeah, 50 was nuts for what our stats are and formulas. Show Goblin Enchanter? Sure. So we're going to be covering the alpha patch notes. We could get to that in a moment. Just kind of waiting for people to file in. And let's see. Stream popped off. Okay. Covering alpha patch notes. And doing one giveaway per life story. Yo, what's up, Viro? Yeah, file in, take your seats. We'll get started here in a second. Such a good-looking goblin. Yeah. Nice haircut? Oh, thank you, Viro. Yeah, I just got back. Just got my haircut. What's up, Top Speed Beans? Yeah, it was hilarious. I was reading FOH today, and some guy was like, "Yeah, I've been trying to get a key, and his chat distracted him. The giveaway was running for like 30 minutes, and then he told his whole life story for the next 20 minutes. So it was like 50 minutes until he ran one key." That had me cracking up. Oh, that was so good. FOH thinks you're gonna reserve their guild name for them? Is Alex coming back? Does this count as a life story? No. Not really. It just counts as it's like my day's story of my day. Good evening, Fitzel. Omni Murders. Sarah Wynn. Who else in here? Knuckles. But yeah. Show Wood Elf Druid again? Sure. Yeah! Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody. It's also my birthday eve. Believe it or not, tomorrow is my birthday on the old turkey day. It'll be a good one. You like the rebalance of the stats? Your first pass stats were a little high, but I don't know how I feel about the way they are right now. Yeah, no, I feel they're fine because like the important part is that they work well with our game, right? Like even if they don't feel like, oh, okay, like, and like a, you know, like a multiple of 5 or whatever, right? Or 10 or, you know, like I think it's okay, right? I mean, obviously, of course, it would feel good to have that, but you know, it's just the way our stats currently work. That's just gonna have to be the case. But yeah. I think it was the 5s that I like, but I'll get used to the way they are. They're not bad at all. Yeah, no, I get that. Wonder how these stats will be impacted by gear. If the base stat is 20, the item is plus 5, that increases huge. Well, I think that, I mean, based on your level, right? That could be huge or not so huge. Hey, thanks Tribori for the tier 1. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And V Captain Hook, also thank you for the tier 1. Yeah, I think I got you, Sarah 1. Thank you for the 10 watch streak. It's awesome. A lot closer to D&D kind of stats, to be honest. Yeah. My wife does everything in 5s. If we turn the volume up on or down on the TV, it has to be in increments of 5. So for me, I just kind of got used to 5s. Hey, no, as somebody who's super OCD, I empathize with that. Yeah, my birthday is tomorrow. I'm gonna be 37. 37 years old. Man. Time goes by too fast. Unless you're waiting for an alpha key and I'm just yapping, then it goes by extremely slow. That's the spirit of Incredible. You like divisible by 5. My wife likes even numbers, so we're trapped to the 10s for volume. Nice. Pre-core, it is a going to be a 2026 release for this game. So, and the development started in 2020. Late 2020, early 2026 release. But yeah, it's intentionally old school looking, though it does have like kind of HD textures and extremely modern lighting and all that. So I love the aesthetic, personally. What up, Nick? We need more life stories. I mean, I only had one life to live, you know? I mean, I could tell it again. Watching Zach do the work. He's doing great. Yeah, he knocks it out of the park, really. We'll give it a couple more minutes and then I'll start with the patch notes. You like the graphics a lot? Yeah, they're really coming together. Nick was born at a very young age. Drink a Kirkland and it's life story time. Yeah, the Kirklands definitely get me yapping a lot more. That was probably what happened that day, if I had to guess. Not that I don't yap naturally, but a little Kirklandio in me, and then talk your ears off. Patch notes, yeah. Lots of patch notes to go through. You lost 14 alpha keys that day, that's right. Kinda hate that I can get all the way to look at my characters, but can't get in. Yeah. Hey Nick, any rundown on what researching might be? And is there a trainer for this currently? I actually have to check on the trainer. I don't know, maybe I forgot to do that, but I thought he was already in there. You work with the ZBrush guy? He's amazing. Watching him texture a dwarf? Yeah. Fairly big patch. Huge patch. Huge. Okay, we can start here pretty shortly. Trainer in the Wiz Tower in NH. Oh, there you go. Should we expect safe fall for monks / rogues? Actually, that was supposed to go in this patch, but it may exist. I don't know if it works right yet, but safe fall is very, very close, if not already in. We may have to tweak the numbers, though. Key for life story. Hey, Riddlebark, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifties. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. No, I don't know that. Coctopus. That's such a great name. We got brewing yet? No, unfortunately. We need to get brewing and alcohol drinking in. Cover their butt quacks. Why ducks have feathers? Cover their butt quacks. Oh, I see. Boom. Dang. That. Oh, okay. I see. I see what you did there. Thanks for the gifts. Yeah. Thanks again, Riddlebark. That's nice. Yeah. Player crit heals added? No. No, the first raid mob was not a turkey, unfortunately. Alright, I think we get started. I think we could get started. Can we get a tooltip or something for the racial resist traits? Yeah, we did add those. So let me quickly show that. I wonder if my guy even has them. Probably not. Describe to me your emotions when you laid hands on your first fungi, Tianek. I mean, I can't remember, but it was definitely a good one. Like, whenever you slap a fungi tunic and a cloak of flames on a like low-level alt twink, like that's a nice feeling moment. So yeah, I guess it does show up. So your kind of certain traits that you get now that are kind of a racial trait that's auto-granted to you will show up in here. So trait bribe, and it says goblin. And then like trait goblin resistances, and it says goblin, right? So I don't know that we have, yeah, like you said, we don't have the actual numbers that you get. So that might be something to look at. But I believe for goblin it's 5 disease, 5 poison. Not mistaken. It seems like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Are there any human-only racials? Yeah, there's the, what's it called? Uh-oh, can't go to that one. Can't go to that one. I could go to this guy. What's it called again? Tenacity, yeah. Look at this guy, fancy. Oh, he's copper? I thought he was something else. Never mind. Yeah, tenacity, and then human resistances. Looks like they get a. I think they get a -5 corruption, and a. I could have sworn they got a -5 holy, but I don't know. They get something, and I can't remember. I'll have to look it up and post them. No plus? Yeah, that might be the case. You got owned by a Twink DE wearing a fungi tunic? They were regen, right? Yeah. Yep. Given the jack of all trades in terms of racial stats, I mean, they're fairly basic, right? Like, they don't change much at all. I don't believe they actually change, right? So, like... Oh. Maybe they do slightly, you know. I have to look into that one. Oh my god, they get chest hair now? Look at that. Dude, the human touch-up is actually insane. Holy. Good job, Zach. Sick. Yo, this looks so good. Got some happy trail action. He's been killing it on those models. Yeah, he's just been doing a good job. Needs more bulge, yeah. Need that eye patch so bad. Yeah, we do need an eye patch. All right, let's get to the patch notes. Let's get to the patch notes. Let's do that. Let's pull them up. Play capture. Boom. There we go. Actually, we gotta scroll up. There's a lot more. So we do have a couple other notes to go over. It looks like, I think I went over this last time, but since that stream, we've talked about... Okay, so on 4, 5, and 6 party size experience bonus. Having done a substantial amount of math, the experience bonuses are already pretty liberal, as long as the kill speed is increased marginally due to having one more person in the group. You will see a total experience per hour increase. Previously, content was too easy, causing 3-person groups to be ideal, as there was no real reason to go above in group size. We will watch things during this patch, collect additional metrics, and decide what to do from there. As long as you get 2 kills additional per person per camp respawn timer, you'll be coming out ahead by adding people. So this is all from Ali. We were gonna patch yesterday, but then he noticed the stats thing. He's like, Nick, we're gonna have to do a little bit of a reduction on those stats. I was like, yeah, I expected that, but that's totally all right. I just wanted to get the ball rolling, you know. So closed alpha servers coming down. Servers up. So with this patch, you will get a reroll, stat reroll, and then you go to your trainer to access that, and you could change your stats. Now there is a bug where if you are you have an illusion on, it basically kind of bugs out. So make sure that you remove any illusions upon doing this, right? I think Rogue is going to be the throwing weapons class. Worn out plays. But I could see Monk getting something too there, maybe. Okay, so patch notes 0.20.20.0. This update covers more than a month of work, over 670 commits, and too much content changes to track. This is hopefully a good number of changes, but I'm sure we missed some. Features. Housing added in Shallow Shoals. We finally have working metrics on a number of parties on a server. At night and in dungeons, other entity name tags will no longer be visible unless they are near a light source. Adjust aggro detection. Reduce the definition of behind for aggro. Balance. Most common dropped and crafted weapons have had their damage and delay values rebalanced. Most common dropped and crafted armor have had the armor class values rebalanced. Updating enemy armor values to address balance issues. Updating player pet armor values to address balance issues. Correcting various item balance issues pertaining to weapon damage, armor class, and item weight. Various combat changes as described in State of Balance. Various experience changes. Int/Wiz scaling. Charisma merchant effects. VFX. New healing VFX. New Mez VFX. New charm VFX. New Sao VFX. Sao VFX. New rain VFX. New shadow summoning spell VFX. Environment. Fix water bugs with the new water. Implement new water in more zones. Various fixes to Night Harbor, Keeper's Bite, Glass Flats, Sungreat Strand, and Telekir. Trees in Evershade Weald and Keeper's Bite. Adjustment to environment in Wormsbane Cave in Night Harbor. Adjustment to environment in Upper Saman. Ambient sounds for Ancient Crypt. New music for Evershade Weald. New props for Scarwood. Fix malfunctioning doors in Grain Cellar. Optimization work in Glass Flats. Work with many prop prefabs for occlusion optimization and turn some props into prefabs. Next, is there any plan for TPS class that focuses on two-hand weapons? A Barbarian Berserker character trope is sorely missing. You never know what might happen, but no immediate plans. Not tilting on my iPhone? Do I need the app? I think you may, yeah. I think I ran into that recently. Okay, so... addressed pathing behavior in Wormsbane Tomb that could be abused. Blocked a way to access out-of-bound areas in Evershade Weald. Adjusted the intersection of zone lines and shallow shoals to produce a rare but confusing result. NPCs and pets should no longer find their way into cages in Grimtide Sanctum. Rotate Scarwood to face the correct direction. Fix Scarwood swim while on land. Hundreds of prop updates for occlusion and other adjustments. Occlusion areas and zone optimizations work in Glass Flats. Fallen Pass, Grain Cellar, and Ancient Crypt. Fix some missing textures in Glass Flats. Blocked off an area that should not be accessible in Evershade Weald. Adjusted the confluence of Shallow Shoals, Vale of Zentar, and Keeper's Bite. Removed unused assets and scenes from project. Updated the Glass Flats facade while in Vale of Zentar. Carnicles, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifties. Appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Whose life story for the giveaways? Apparently the Monsters and Memories patch is going to be the life story of the day. Collision fix for the stage and Phalendrol, and fixed a floating tent in Shaded Dunes. Fixed convex rock colliders in Sungreat Strand. Hey, Risen Call, thank you for the Prime. Glad you're enjoying the stream. What's up, SSA Blue Knight? How's it going? Fix being able to get stuck in trebuchets in Night Harbor. Updated fire VFX on some props in Night Harbor and updated lighthouse VFX. Collapsed subscenes in Vale of Zentar and Fallen Pass into main scene. Reworked zone line between Glass Flats and Sungreat Strand to fix several issues. Beware going cliff diving. Fixed regression with lifts becoming non-functional in Phalendrol and added an audio trigger. Danslerd, thank you for the Prime. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. What's up, Red666? It all started on a dark and stormy night. I was 12 in Kittikor Forest and was roaring. Wait, not my life story? Okay. Yeah, sorry, Zukin. You have to do some giveaways and then tell your life story in the middle. Set up new zones. Removed old Unity nav mesh from several zones. When will druids get griffin pets would be epic? I like it, but maybe we make it kind of like an epic droppable or something, you know? Thank God that nav mesh is gone. What is Unity nav mesh? Unity nav mesh is the navigation mesh system that Unity uses, but that's not the system that we're using primarily. So, I believe we are using A-Star. I shouldn't say believe. I absolutely know that we're using A-Star. Retrack 47, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Was Ranger's new spell / ability? It reads that it's just campfire. I forgot what the exact... I didn't implement that one. Chip has been implementing... Zilith has been implementing a couple abilities here and there. I did, like, write down what I thought it was supposed to be, but I actually can't remember what it ended up being. So that ability may just get tweaked. Chirasu, thank you for the Prime. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you. What's up? It's Dissy? Alright, let's continue. Abilities. Ground target abilities, such as Caltrops, will now show the area of effect when casting. Added flare abilities for archers. Added thrown ground item VFX support and VFX for flare and Caltrops. Tracking skill now gained by Ranger at level 4, Druid at level 21, and Bard at level 36. Pickpocket will no longer steal magic items or bags. Fighters can now critical hit on melee attacks starting at level 21. Starting at level 1, fighters will enter a Berserker Rage while at low health. Merciless Assault now causes your attacks to be critical hits or crippling blows. Added Command Kill ability for Beastmasters. Wizards will now randomly perform Critical Blast starting at level 21. Salvage Arrow ability added for archers, allowing you to recover some of the arrows that hit the corpses around you. Safe Fall added for monks, rogues, and bards. Feign Death will now cause all enemies to forget you after remaining feigned for X seconds, with a message to let you know that this has happened. Hearth of the Ranger added for Rangers. Dot ticks no longer have a chance to break roots. Root rotters rejoice. Fixes. Fix some situations where buff icons can get lost. Profanity list updated. Attempt to resolve issues where chat windows would disappear for some players regularly upon login. GM chat window will now close when you camp the character selection. Some bugs with Sphere of Influence were fixed, ensuring those who would be invisible remain that way at all times unless you have the spell to see them. Trade acceptance will now reset if you take or add an item to a bag in the trade window. Group Finder list / delist bug fix. Group leaders can now list groups in advance to replace members planning on leaving soon. Settings should now save properly with the quit button or camp desktop command. Pet renames should now be fixed. Pet renames should now survive reloads and zoning. Roleplay and Anonymous now display properly in the Who queries. Hearth of the Ranger is a special campfire that Rangers place. UI. New icon assets added. You'll see the new ones in the macro UI. Character creation traits are now listed in alphabetical order. The UI scale will now automatically adjust to a recommended default based on your client's resolution. You can now tab forward and shift tab backwards between players and tells. There is now a separate petition and report a bug option in the main menu. Petitions are to create a ticket for a GM to review and possibly contact you in-game. Bug reports are not a live response, but something for us to look at later. Please use both appropriately. What about Eyes of the Ranger? Are they upon you? Yes, they are. Endurance bar will now show for fighter, monk, rogue, and archer in parties instead of the mana bar. To move a spell around in your spellbook, you must use right-click now. A new border will appear to show it's the current ability being targeted. I think there's a bug with this right now where if you try to move something to away from like the 2 pages that you're currently looking at, it'll break that. So we need to get that one fixed. You can now drag and drop spells from your spellbook onto your ability bar in addition to single clicking them to pick them up and clicking again onto the bar to memorize. For new UI setups, there is now a combat window by default. Combat messages will be split from the main chat by default. The split stack panel has been updated with a matching theme to the UI. Caltrops will no longer affect other players, will be adjusted for PvP in the future. Probably means it doesn't work in PvP. Damage shields will no longer be triggered by self-damaging abilities such as Consume. Damage shield damage is no longer affected by outgoing damage buffs. Nick, can I scribe from spells from Spellbook 1 to Spellbook 2 so that my old spells can go into my backup? Ooh, that's an idea. You can't do it yet, but we've talked about allowing that. Do GMs work on a voluntary basis? Currently they do, but our GMs will be full-time paid employees. The entire game is voluntary, yeah. Any updates with putting the cooldowns onto the other bar? I've inquired about it, but it hasn't been addressed yet. Being able to move a spell from one book to another would be nice. Yeah. You guys aware of the goofy sound effects on bows currently? I don't know. Let me see. I asked. Quint, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're enjoying the stream. And Lithonial, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate that as well. Nick, moving spells between books would be cool. What if that required a trade skill or an NPC to do? Yeah, something like that for sure. I think would be interesting. Trade skill makes sense. An NPC, yeah. What's up, Nicodemus? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours as well. I've got my birthday tomorrow, too. Sometimes it falls on Thanksgiving. It just happens to be this year as well, so. Be a good one. What's up, Zaraki? Not sure if it was reported in the last open playtest, but when I was playing Elementalist, I had scribed my gate ability and then changed page and started to scribe another ability and went back to the page with gate scribed on it, and a new spell scribed over gate, causing a need for a repurchase of gate. Ooh, yeah. I think I heard about something like that. Let me make a note. In the UI task list. That's a bad one. I'll put this here. Hey Nick, what was the thought process on moving Stone Skin up higher on Druid spell list? I kind of wanted to spread them out a little bit more. It was kind of research driven, but if it feels like super bad, I could maybe make another adjustment. I don't know that I have finalized, like, because there are certain spell lines in the game currently that like have really, really old or really just like weird like distribution of levels, and yeah. I'd also have to see too with the balance guys if like, does that AC make sense getting at, you know, the old level versus the new level. And Druid has a lot of stuff early, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it helps that slightly. But I'll look at that one again and just re-verify my thoughts on it. There's definitely some adjustments to ability line class, like level acquisition level that needs adjustment. Like, for example, the cleric, I forgot about this one, is the cleric nuke line, the non-undead version. Like, that is like really condensed between 1 and 40, and I believe the last nuke you get is at 40. That is definitely a relic of like me putting that in 5 years ago, or a long time ago at least, right? So I've been looking at a lot more ability stuff recently. So yeah, I'll probably make more adjustments. But let me know if anything feels terribly wrong or bad. So we said that damage shield is no longer affected by outgoing damage buffs. Harvest nodes that are limited to a certain spawning condition will now correctly despawn when that condition is no longer valid. Glad I bought the dip on Moonveil Futures. Okay. Traits intended as a racial or class passives will no longer show as an unselectable option during character creation. Abilities that displace NPCs will now cause slightly more threat and generate social aggro. Healing Light will no longer heal the caster for each target hit by the effect, only the intended single time. Oh, did it really do that? That's pretty hilarious. Infra/Ultravision effects will no longer persist to the character select screen. Yeah, I noticed that one. That was fun. I think this got introduced when we changed how Infravision and Ultravision worked to work properly with the Gamma slider. Chicago question, sir. I was listening to your last VOD. You mentioned a Chicago-style hot dog. What is the quintessential Chicago-style dog? Down here, they say it just has peppers on it. That can't be right. So I believe it's mustard, onion, celery, salt. What is it called? The what are the little pepper things called again? Sport peppers. Has to be beef. Has to be beef. That's right. No, and it can't. Actually, I'm pretty sure that you're not supposed to put ketchup on it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't. But I'm pretty sure, you know, the hardliners will say that you're not supposed to. So, yeah, mustard, sport pepper, celery, salt, tomatoes. So not diced tomatoes. It looks like Sliced tomatoes, not diced. Diced white onion. A pickle. Sport pepper? What is a sport pepper? Is it just a peppercini? Or what is it? They belong to the Capsium annum family. Checking in around 10,000 to 23,000 Scoville heat units. Hotter than a banana pepper, milder than a fresh serrano pepper, and less smoky than a jalapeno. Has to be a poppy seed bun too, yeah. And what's the brand? Vienna beef. It has to be Vienna beef. Or it doesn't have to. It has to be beef, but Vienna beef is very, very popular. Now, do we put relish on it? I think we might. Do Chicago dogs have relish? Or maybe I'm thinking of Costco ones. No relish? Okay, yeah, no relish. You prefer Spam hot dogs? Ooh. Anything different with the dog itself? Just cook a dog like normal? Steamed. I think they're steamed, right? Derpalurp knows. Thanks, Derpalurp. The only relish is what we feel when we vanquish our foes. Yeah, that's right. Nick, what's your thoughts on very controversial deep dish pizza? Why? Because some people call it like lasagna, or like they try to say like this or that about it, you know, like try to trash our deep dish. So I will say, everyone thinks, everyone outside of Chicago thinks deep dish for Chicago. But really, this is what we eat. Hold on. Chicago, I guess it's known as Chicago Tavern style. I don't know that we actually call it that. Chicago Tavern pizza? Yeah, so it's like a thin crust, like almost like a crackery crust. Like, dude, this is Chicago pizza. Deep dish pizza is what you get when you're like, I gotta up the ante a little bit. I gotta act a little fancy. But this is what people are eating. And it has to have... It has to have this. If this is on the outside, you know you've come to the right place. So, but yeah, no, I do like Lou Malnati's, and I do like deep dish from other places. I don't know that I guess it's considered pan pizza, but I do like this. I think it can be pretty good, but that's, you know, that's not what we're eating all the time over here. A lot of people are eating the tavern style. Tavern style is delicious. I used to just knock one of these out, like solo almost. Wasn't very healthy, but hey. Life stories to food stories? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, New York pizza is just Sbarro. Let's be honest. I'm gonna enrage all the New Yorkers in the chat. Yeah, nice Sbarro pizza. Sbarro, do you want me? Sbarro, I'll eat some pizza on stream. All right, so let's hear Sbarro pizza. This is New York pizza. Just floppy. You gotta like fold it. If you don't fold it, then you're not. I don't think you're eating it right. You gotta fold it. I'm gonna be honest. I like a New York piece of pizza. I will walk around New York. Yeah. You got this is the technique. This is the technique right here. If you don't do that, you don't know what you're doing. Chicago pizza is better. Yeah, I'm sorry to say it. Like tavern pizza. Now, if you're feeling a traditional pizza, I'd probably put this over the deep dish, the Chicago deep dish. But I'm gonna go Chicago tavern style, Chicago deep dish, New York style. That's my tier list. Y'all sleeping on Detroit style? Dude, no way. That's all we've been eating a ton of Detroit style because of ye old Jets pizza that's everywhere. They're popping up everywhere, left and right. You can't stop them. They're just multiplying. It's like the pizza pandemic. Costco got that Detroit style pizza too? Do they? Isn't the Costco pizzas more like, feels like kind of like a Domino's style. Like, I don't know if that's actually a style or what. Looks like lasagna. No, this is just, it's like thick crust. Like, this really doesn't show like the, here. It is very thick. Like, I like this, but like I'm kind of good after like one piece, you know? Like, one piece of it, like, especially when you get like mad toppings on it. Like, look at this. It's like a meal in one piece. But I really like the it's very thin crust on the Chicago stuff. We need you guys to bring back Slash Pizza in game. Yeah, well, Slash Pizza, Slash Taco. We'll figure something out, I'm sure. You know, Slash Kirkland. If in Chicago, Nick, what's your side on Italian beefs? Portillo's, Al's, Buena Beef? I would go Portillo's. I think Portillo's is kind of a go-to if you're in Chicago. You gotta go to Portillo's, so. And any Portillo's representatives out there, please, for the love of God, please bring back the breakfast. The breakfast trial was so good. Like, alright. Anyways, here's some Portillo's action. So they got like combo beef and sausage. They've got like whatever this cheesy beef is, but the classic, you gotta get the Italian beef with the hot peppers or the what is it called? Hot giardiniera. And you can get this like completely like dipped and like drenched, or you can get like just, you know, regular amount of wetness, a little moist, you know. Oh, you can't forget the chocolate cake from Portillo's. That's right. Yeah. Portillo's chocolate cake. And apparently somebody was talking about the chocolate cake shake. Which is also something I need to try. But yeah, what is this? I don't know what that is. That seems pretty, the what? Yeah. Little, yeah. But, yeah, no, the chocolate cake is good. What is this video about? Well, it was about Monsters and Memories Patch Notes. Now it's about Chicago food. So, welcome. I'm sure I'll get to a giveaway in like hours from now, but, all right. That was a fun little detour, but let's get back to it. Mexican food is also a must if you're in Chicago. That's right. very good street vendors, and just yeah, Mexican food is pretty litty, as the kids say. Luke's Downtown Chicago is top tier beef. Yeah, I don't really know all the good spots. I'm just like kind of a Portillo's Andy, so I could be off on this. Do you know any British food? I don't really. Like fish and chips, right? And like beans and what's like the English breakfast? I feel like I would enjoy the English breakfast, not gonna lie. Like I think this I think this looks fire. I think I would enjoy this. But I've never really had it. Damn, people are going hard on the British food. Y'all never had proper British food? I think, yeah, that's probably the case, right? I'm sure it's pretty good. British food is meh? Really? Very bland? I haven't heard anyone say I'm craving some British food. Well, I never really see British food around. I think that's the problem, right? I mean, I guess maybe there's no demand for it, but I don't know. I think I could get down with this, like some roasted tomato. Like, is that falafel? What is that? Like mushrooms and ham and the sausage, toast, egg. I mean, beans. I think I could do it. I think I could do it. Blood sausage. Oh, I've had blood sausage at it was like a Puerto Rican place. When I used to work at NetherRealm, there was like a really good Puerto Rican place really close, and we used to walk there. You like sausage? LMAO? Yeah. Clearly, because I'm just dropping Freudian slips and everything with the chocolate cake, you know? You guys all heard it. Pork sausage. Man, this has been such a detour. But hey, this was fun. National dish of England is Indian curry, no jokes. Yeah, I have heard that. Like, Indian curry. Like, America is to Mexican food as Britain is to Indian food. That's kind of like the understanding that I've had. Ban whoever brought up the Chicago hot dog question. Yeah, that was Nicodemus. Sorry, Nicodemus. They're demanding your head. No, I'm just kidding. We can't ban Nicodemus. Like, who's gonna like make cool items and quests and content? All right, let's get back to it. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the detour. I know many of you have probably departed the stream because of this, but we'll try to get those numbers back up. Derpalurp just wants me to... Yeah, Derpalurp, yeah, of course it's fun, because it's actually fun content, right? Like, for you. People are here for the monsters and the memories, you know? I know you want me to do a mukbang, but I don't know. A bunch of life stories in there. All right, I think we could start one key giveaway. So let me open that up. Let's do keyword. Yeah, okay. All right. Hit me with a giveaway. Hit me with exclamation point giveaway. Here come the bots. Yeah, we did too much of food detour. We gotta pump those stream numbers up again. We can't be falling below certain thresholds. What's up, Riddlemock? Good to see you. All right, let's continue with these patch notes. Key could be life-changing. 3P. What's up, Cowboy Bots? Yeah, hey, you're not even hiding it, dude. You're just a bot that comes in here, right? No, you got created in 2011. That would be a pretty long con if you were a bot. You're multiple. Makes sense. All right, let's get back to it. Made riding lifts smoother. Made some pet hit messages more consistent in their wording. Fix other hitting your pet not going to the combat hit pet channel. Fix sending pet attacks to the appropriate channel when your pet hits another client. Footsteps sound now trigger on models that are close to you, even if your camera is not facing them. Fix some model parts on corpses not rendering from certain camera angles. Smoothly transition wave size when the weather changes. Hey, Nicodemus! Thank you so much for the Ko-fi donation. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for everything you do, too. Appreciate that a lot. Thanks so much. Thank you, thank you. All right, where was I? Fix sending pet attacks to the appropriate channel when your pet hits another client. Footsteps sounds now trigger on models that are close to you, even if your camera is not facing them. Fix some model parts on corpses not rendering from certain camera angles. Smoothly transition wave size when the weather changes. Fixed pet attack not working for charmed NPCs that you can't see in Viz. Fixed icons of items in links sometimes not showing up. Yeah, that would show that. So the links, I don't think ever the icon of an item that gets linked by somebody else, I don't think they ever showed up. Fixed exception if you have a merchant interface open during a zone reload. Hey, Diogenes, thank you so much for the Prime. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Joe Binley, thank you so much for the donation on Ko-fi. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. It's so nice of you. Thank you so much. Let me just... Summon food drink is now 4 per cast at level 36. Is that a bug? I don't think so. What was it before? Yeah, we're still getting to that part. But hey, thanks again to all the people subbing and donating. It really means a lot. I really, really do appreciate your generosities. Thank you. So, fixed exception if you have a merchant interface open during a zone reload. Made some minor optimizations to send less network traffic related to merchant interfaces. Fixed the buy/sell button at the bottom of the merchant interface not able to be clicked. Fixed an error spam related to some animators running too long. Fixed self-found characters not able to pick up items on the ground spawned by the world. Fixed NPCs not prioritizing close targets when rooted. Fixed pet resist messages not going to the owner. Fixed elf hair on character creation / login screen. Fixed the plane of meat. Updated the Discord rich presence to avoid log spam. Clean up leftover server conditions. Player pet offense and defense skill caps will now function like player caps do. Enemy offense and defense skill caps will now function like player caps do. Tech. Click to consider. Now setting, new setting added to the chat settings. If you activate this setting, Every time you click on an NPC to target them, you will also consider that NPC. Tab targeting will not activate the consider. Added test filters command to test which windows have specific filters set. You can test individual channels with the full path of the filter, like /test filters, combat, ability, beneficial. Or test filters, system, help. This is not case sensitive. The command will output a test message locally to only you to show you which filters are set for all windows currently displayed. That's a nice one. Line of sight. There's a new LOS command, a new LOS combat chat channel added. If you have played in previous tests, you will need to enable this channel to see the line of sight messages in your combat log. It might be just good to kind of delete your... So, from what I heard, you have to delete your, like, C users, your name, app data, local low, niche worlds called monsters and memories. There's some files you might want to delete in there. I believe they are Windows JSON and chats.json. And it wouldn't hurt to also remove the settings.json. Right now, you actually need to do this because apparently there's a bug where if you have these outdated files, your UI will never save. So I would recommend doing this stuff. Hey, Incredible! Thank you for the donation on Ko-fi. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's so kind of you. Nick, can you make a post about that? Yeah. Yeah, I think we could do that. So long term, I mean, maybe not long term, but it is going to be kind of a challenging task, is the journal is going to be kind of, it's not going to be like your local chat file or local journal file. It's not going to be like a local thing. And then you're not going to have like issues with like, oh, this character, that character, like it's, you want to like absorb or whatever, right? You like essentially there's like a pop-up that's like, hey, there's a conflict with your journal file. Do you want to import these journal entries or whatever? It's going to be totally flag based and like server flagging based. So you won't have those conflicts in the future, though it is going to be kind of a more challenging task. I think we need to put quest flags in, almost like we'll be like 90% of the way there, right? With that, that we could just do quest flags, but I don't know that we'll actually ever do quest flags because it's just a design thing. Maybe for certain use case, but yeah, that'll be an interesting task for some of our tech guys. Donations and feed pics might not help your chances of getting an alpha key, but they don't hurt either. They don't hurt. I'll tell you that. Happy almost Turkey Day, everyone. Hey, Flourishing. Happy almost Turkey Day and almost my birthday to you as well. All right. What's up, Derp Alert? Thank you, Derp Alert. I appreciate that. All right. Who all search limit results have increased from 20 max results to 50 max results? Item links. If you shift-click on an item while the input area is open in chat, you will now link the item you are clicking on from your inventory. This has also been improved so you can continue typing in the input area after inserting a link. Oof, that was a good one. That's a real good one. That was really annoying. That's a good fix. Long-awaited fix. Commands panel. This panel is now collapsible. Simply click on the commands text to collapse the panel. Saves now if you included my push from later in the day, 11:23. Remove this note if we included this push. Otherwise, note this currently doesn't save the state. Meta patch notes, yeah. Added confirmation dialog window for a player to accept a soul bind. Remove the restriction to drop items if cell found. You can also pick up items that you've dropped yourself. Carl! Thank you for the donation on Ko-fi. That's so nice of you. Thank you, thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you for the generous donation. So nice of you. Thank you. Best time of the year is upon us? Yeah, Thanksgiving, like Christmas, the holiday season in general. It's a good time of year. Patch notes could have used a copy editor. You just wait till you get to my section of the patch notes. It's pristine. What's up, NGVoker? Stream's going good. Thankful for you all and the memories we have made with monsters. And thankful for you, LaFlores. Thanks, Fizwick. Appreciate that. All I want for Christmas is M&M. Yeah, it's coming soon. Playtest in December? Possibly. Added chat channel for ability resists. Added support for items that block you from teleporting when they are in your inventory. Allow armor and body parts to be emissive. Swimming area definitions improvements. Implement Bjorn's new master shader to public clients. Art. Fix seams and helms. I'm sure there's a lot more here. Yeah. Lots of art changes. I mean, human male gets chest hair and a happy trail, so I mean, that's pretty cool. Good job, Zach. The kids are puking. God, I can't wait for M&M for a little escape. Sorry to hear that, the Boosh. Hopefully they're okay. It's never fun. Jobinly. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you again for the other donation on Ko-fi. Thank you. That's so very kind of you and generous of you. So thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, I had a little bit of like a 24-hour fever going on from yesterday through today. I kind of sweated it out this morning, kind of afternoon, and now I'm kind of back to normal. Still feel a little bit like sore and a little bit like Now, can you get a fever from caffeine withdrawal? I kind of almost feel like it was a caffeine withdrawal kind of thing. Like a severe caffeine withdrawal. Food, probably? Fever-like symptoms? Yeah, I need to I'm kicking the caffeine, guys. We'll just have to hold these up and pretend to drink them. Not actually drink them. Injected straight to my veins. Your brain is absolutely able to feign illness if it doesn't get what it wants. Yeah, like, brain is insane. It's like such a... How much does a Kirkland cost? much do they cost? I haven't actually... Kirkland... Coffee. Kirkland cold brew box. $31.50 for 12 count. But that says at Walmart. Apparently you can buy them at Walmart. So there you go. You don't need a Costco membership for the Kirklands. Buy them online from Walmart. Need a Kirkland sponsor? No, I need to stop drinking the Kirklands. The Kirklands are crazy. Like 2.3 cups of coffee per one of these little 11 fluid ounce cans. Yeah. They're too much. They're too much, guys. Unless you're about it. How many grams of caffeine does it say? 225 milligrams per can. How many of those were you having a day? I was doing like 1 to 2. Typically like 1 though. Like 1 was all I needed because obvious reasons. If I did 2, it was like not as bad as a Monster. Does Monster actually have more than that? That's crazy. Yeah, I only drank 4 ounces of it today. And tomorrow I'm gonna drink 2 ounces of it. Day Draco! Thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gifties. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream, and thank you so much for the generosity. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, Nicodemus is actually made out of caffeine. Like, he... Hey, Incredible! Thank you so much for the Ko-fi donation. Thank you. Has a winner been chosen? We'll press the button. You know, I wouldn't want to go on any more tangents and life stories without pressing the button, so. Where's that at? All right, make sure you get your giveaway in. I'm gonna press the button soon here. Choose a winner. 3, 2, 1. People are entering. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. We're choosing it. Planet 65. Planet 65. Planet 65. Please whisper me your M&M account email and Discord. Congratulations, you are the winner. Created 2012. Certified not a clanker. Congrats. But again, thank you so much to everybody who's donated and subbed. I really do appreciate that. So thank you. Let's go. Let's go on to the patch notes some more here. Trade skills. Smelting now requires molds. Flux tiers have been removed. Now only require limestone. Limestone nodes have been added. New alchemy potion, Fiery Wrath. New alchemy recipes. Exceptional serums. Herbalism, new herb. Phoenix flower. Enchanted bars have had their trivial values adjusted. Disenchanting dust can now be converted into higher tier dust. Copper weapon patterns now properly state minor flux as a requirement. Updated depreciated references of weak flux to properly reference minor flux in copper weapon patterns and quest text. Beefcake Karn, thank you so much for the tier 1 gifty. Appreciate that so much. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Smelting already did require molds. Yeah, I think, I don't know what happened with the patch notes, but, I think they just got kind of consolidated a couple things here, because it wasn't very well documented last time. Moonveils should now retain their glow over a greater distance. So that was the one we found on the stream the other night, where the lighting was calling way too soon on those Moonveils. Content. Cooking Trainer Violin will no longer discuss the incorrect recipe requirement. Scarwood environment and population changes. Scarwood itemized. Telekir level band adjustments. Telekir spawn adjustments, additions, and some moved around. Telekir itemization adjustments. Secret dungeon work started. The storybook quest is added. Robert T. Mighty, thank you for the Prime. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you so much. Rambo, part 6. Thank you for the Prime as well. It's so kind of you. Thank you so much. And LK Jeremy, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you guys so much. It's so generous of you all. Appreciate it. Thank you. The storybook quest is added. Many new items. Itemized named cultists in glass slats and added placeholders. Added new NPCs, emotes, appearances, faction, and diversified general spawn population and pathing in Keeper's Bite. Dude, I keep mispronouncing random words, and I feel like I'm gonna do another Freudian slip. Work in progress. Fixed grain cellar locked doors. Burrower Mound area in Vale of Zentar and some ladders in Sungreat Strand should have much improved pathing. Nick, any plans to give any fighter/hybrid some melee abilities? Ranger, Spellblade, Paladin, Inquisitor, Shadow Knight, other than Strike? Well, Paladin, Inquisitor, Shadow Knight did get a pass on damaging abilities, but Spellblade and Spellblade, Ranger, Beastmaster definitely needs stuff. Fighter seems leaning very heavily into DPS every patch. None of the fighter hybrids have anything from fighter, only their counterpart. Yeah, they'll have unique things that they do. There won't be exact copies, but yeah. I need to diversify a few of those martial classes a bit more. Yeah, whisper me on Twitch if you don't mind, Planet65. That would be ideal. You can see my... I don't know why I typed FD, but yeah, you can click on my name there and whisper me, and I'll send me your info that way. Anything decided about con levels for mobs that literally unhittable versus reds you can at least attempt? I don't have the best answer for that. Red mobs should probably be more hittable, but I don't know. I would say test how things feel on the new patch and let us know. But we're always looking at the balance. We're always, if things don't feel great, then we yeah, trial and error, right? If you want to find a red that's like close to your level, but it is hard to determine that, right? Well, not hard, but it requires some, as Big said, trial and error. Excuse me. Thank you, Day Draco. Alright, where were we at? NPCs and pets should no longer find their way into cages in Grimtide Sanctum. Addressed pathing behavior in Wormsbane Tomb that could be abused. Didn't I read that? I feel like I read that already. Attempted fix for random NPCs pathing through Death's-Rend Cave in Vale of Zentar. Rework the spawn mechanic of the Crypt Broodmother in Infested Crypt. Note, still non-functional due to an unresolved bug. Listenfell and Job will now briefly wait after ringing the bell instead of starting to move immediately. Music and sound. New combat SFX. New boat sound effects. New dervish sound effects. New water wheel sound effects. New tension music for dungeons. New music for a certain aquatic dungeon. Randomization with silence gaps applied to dungeon music playlists. Several adjustments to the perceived spatialization of sound effects and ambient sounds. Shaded bloom cellar creatures will no longer be heard above ground. Yes! Thank you. New mix for all game audio. Bug fix for duplicate zombie sound effects events. Bug fix for certain spell sound effects retriggering. Fixes and additions for sound effects events on player and NPC races. Nick, have you looked at the tailoring trade skill? It feels like you use wool way too soon before you're done with cloth. So you're forced to buy items that are above the level to use them, i.e. cloth caps at 14 when wool starts. Some recipe too low and some too high, like the cloth robe. Let me send that information over to Rift. And yeah, we'll see what Rift has to say about that one. He's controlling all the like trivial values and stuff, and recipe stuff, right? So, good evening, Encrypt. How's it going, man? We're just going over all your sick changes. A lot of good stuff in here. So, what did we say? Did we read all this? New mix for all game audio, bug fix for duplicate zombie sound effects events, bug fix for certain spell sound effects retriggering, and fixes in addition for sound effect events on player and NPC races. Rerolls have been granted to everyone, so they may take advantage of the new stat limits. If you are already in game, you will have to /reload. You have to go to your class trainer, then use retrain attributes icon, and then assign your stats. After assigning your stats, you may have to relog. Also, make sure you're not using an illusion. So yeah, this is a image of what it looks like in your trainer window. If you're having issues with your UI not saving, please go to C, Users, your username, App Data, Local, Niche Worlds Cult, Monsters and Memories, and delete all the server folders, start the game, and remake your UI. It will save after that. Apparently you also, like I was saying before, have to delete your windows.json, chats.json, and potentially your settings.json as well. It would be the safest to do that. And those would all be residing in this folder. And then, obviously, the server folders and character folders reside in this as well. Don't delete your journal folder. It will be lost. That's right. Here we are. Here we are. So here's the nick changes. I mean, mostly, right? Like systems, racial and class stat differences added to character creation. So yeah, we went over that earlier in the stream. We did reduce the, if you missed it, we reduced the stat amounts, right? They were too high. I knew they were gonna be too high, but you know, I had to shoot my shot. What's up, Dragon USMC? Good to see you. Thank you so much for the tier 1. Appreciate that. Welcome in. Server-side journal entry soon, says Encrypt. I promise. Ollie and me will be working on it. Yep. That'll be a good one. I was just talking about that. Content. Aggro range is increased. Trade skills. Scrap quantity required to craft a metal bar reduced from 10 to 8. Adjusted which items fall under which disenchantment tiers. Research initial implementation. This is still very early, not much there yet. Fletching. Arrows now created in 100, 500, and 1,000 quantities. Arrow creation for 20 and 200 quantities removed. Component count for 100 arrows set to the old 20 quantity component cost. So you're getting more arrows now per component. Scrapping. You can now scrap a metal bar for 4 metal scraps. The result of combining bronze scraps into a bronze bar now result in a quantity of 1 bronze bar instead of 2. So that was a little bug there. Itemization. Named itemization pass. This encompasses a few zones. There are some named that don't have loot yet in some of the zones that we touched, but we'll be addressing those pretty soon. But feeling pretty good about named itemization. Like, there isn't as much missing. Like, there is a lot of items, guys. There is a lot of stuff. Wasp mob drops tiered. This will be happening with a lot more NPCs. Loot tables is like kind of tiering their drops based on level. This is to facilitate trade skills. This is to facilitate economy and making money off of mobs that are higher level. So you're not just selling the low level like wasp wings when you're killing like a level 50 wasp. Eltindra's blessing potions are now self-cast only. Sorry guys, Sao potions. You can't cast on people anymore. That was a little bit of an accident. Added first droppable abilities. More to come. Traits. Racial active and passive traits assigned. Infravision and Ultravision will currently remain as major non-combat traits that you must select, but we're discussing potential changes to vision types and availability. So yeah, Infravision and Ultravision isn't an inherent racial. It's a thing that you still pick in major non-combat. And the reason for doing that was we didn't want people to be stuck having it if they didn't want it. But we are looking at other potential solutions. Excuse me. Can beasts drop more pelts? I feel like I got more leather values from humanoid drops than killing beasts. Yeah, I think that makes sense, Derelicts. Let me make a note about that one, because I'll be working on the old itemization. Alright, let's see. Researcher now grants bonuses to research instead of spellcrafting. General abilities. Provoke. Provoke threat reduced by half. Cooldown increased from 6 seconds to 12 seconds. Added ability. Focus concentration to Inquisitor, Paladin, and Shadow Knight. This is an ability, it's a cooldown-based ability that increases your channeling by 1,000. So it's kind of like a, oh crap, there's a lot of stuff hitting me, I want to be able to cast. But I believe we did find a bug related to channeling that should make channeling a little bit easier on top of this, right? Added some initial researched abilities. Elementalist, Necromancer, and Beastmaster pet damage increased. It's pretty modest increase. And to differentiate it from some of the lower tier stuff a little bit more. But we're going to be watching this carefully. We may need to nerf pet damage again. But since there's been such a... At least what I thought is meant to happen, there's going to be an increase to TTK, so this might not be the end of the world, right? And then Necromancer pet HP increased because they were lagging a little bit too far behind the Elementalist and whatnot, Beastmaster. Still going to be... These are just going to be in flux. These are just going to be in flux, probably. But that's the plan. Haste ability line, attack speed buff reduced. So originally, when I put the haste values in the game, I wasn't accounting for the fact that certain classes like fighter, rogue, monk, and archer get their own self haste, and then the fact that that stacks with primary haste, and then the fact that there's secondary haste in the game as well from like bards, namely bards. Currently, they just have the Allegro con Woko something. So expect more changes, but pretty locked in on that. Do they stack with items? Yeah. But only one item, at least to my knowledge, unless there's a bug, only one item should give you haste. Your best one. Archer, added ability, counterattack. So this actually increases your dodge currently. It's supposed to be parry, but archers didn't have access to parry, so we'll have to get them parry or something. But for now, it's just a dodge increase. It's a cooldown based ability that greatly increases your dodge. Does Inquisitor have access to haste buffs? I'm getting to that. Bard, Molto Allegro, moved to level 60. Molto Allegro, attack speed reduced. Same deal as like haste ability line, right? It's kind of the same thing. Filled out Molto Allegro ability line with Allegro Lento, Allegro Moderato, and Allegro Assai. So bards get a primary haste line. It's a little bit worse than the Enchanter Shaman one, and they get it a little bit later. But if you don't have an Enchanter or Shaman, it's nice to be able to do this. And then you could also twist your 10% secondary haste in there too, to kind of catch up with the primary haste. Added ability, Frightful Screech. This is a shout. It's like a 45 seconder, I think. 45, 60 seconds. I think it's 45. And this puts all your shouts on cooldown for 45 seconds. So if you choose to use this is a fear shout, single target. So if you choose to use this, it'll put your shouts on cooldown for 45. And then same deal with the Mez Shout ability line. Added Mez Shout ability line with abilities Mesmerizing Whisper, Subduing Whisper, Entrancing Whisper, Somnolent Whisper, and Hypnotic Whisper. This is also a shout, but it is a 90-second cooldown. So it'll put your shouts on cooldown for 90. Shouts are instant casts, yes. Added ability, Celestes Aeolian Aria. This is Endearing Breath Song. Beastmaster, added ability, command, kill. So like kill command. Pact of the Predator, moved to level 2. Beastmaster now has access to abilities Haste, Adrenaline, and Rapidity. Added ability, Rat Form. I think this was mentioned in a previous patch, but the scroll wasn't available. It now is. In fact, Zilith, aka Chip, put me a query together so I can easily see which abilities that don't have scrolls, or if their scroll isn't on the trainer and stuff. So I fixed a decent amount of bugs and implemented a few abilities here due to this fix and query and kind of awareness, essentially. Cleric, Blessed Barrier Line, now shares a cooldown. Supplication. So this is the mana regen thing that people have been talking about. So Supplication, it's kind of like a Yulp style ability, right? It gives you strength. But now the new effect we've brought back, Supplication gives your melee attacks a chance to activate Fulfillment. Fulfillment is increases your mana regen by 1, level 1 to 6, level 60 for 2.5 minutes. However, I wasn't cool, like, there was like this whole debate, right? Like, oh, should I have to be a melee guy to get the mana regen? Because a lot of people just like sitting on their cleric, right? So alternatively, you can also last hit an enemy with your Holy Strike ability, which is your melee ability, or any of your ranged direct damaging spells. So that includes the Holy Shock line, or the Shock line, and the kind of like anti-undead damaging line as well. So, new effect. Additionally, when last hitting an enemy with Holy Strike or your direct damaging spells, bring an enemy to the light, granting you fulfillment. So, you can either choose to melee, you can choose to last hit with a damaging spell, or you can mix and match, whatever you want to do. Feedback, guys? Like, I know some people wanted, like, hey, I want Battle Cleric. So you can do this if you want. If you don't want a Battle Cleric, well, you got to be a little bit more timing based, right? You can nuke, but you're gonna have to get that last hit. Very fulfilling. Clerics don't get access to Might, which is the skill that governs their Holy Strike. Oh, I'll make a note about that. Don't get Might. Well, you only have to get the last hit every 2.5 minutes. Some classes are trying to get it all the time. Clerics are only trying to get it every 2.5 minutes. And if you are grouping with people where, you know, maybe they're just too greedy for the last hits, you can always go into melee range. So. Druid. Grip of Nature is now castable on other players. This is going to be nice for peeling in PvE and PvP. So, Grip of Nature, very similar to, like, what's it called in WoW? Grasp of Nature's Grasp? So it's if you get damaged by melee attack, you, instant cast a root on them. But now, so in WoW, it's a self-cast. In this game, it's now castable on other players. So if you're in a group with an enchanter and their charm breaks, you can throw this on them. And then, yeah. What's the percent chance on the melee on that? Does it scale with level? I think it might be 100%. But there is a cooldown on it. You can't just spam this. There's a cooldown on it. Yeah, that was something I've considered, Derelict. So you said you could adjust the cleric last hit nuke to be that it's a debuff on the target for X seconds. And if it dies within that duration, you get the perk instead of fighting over last hits with wizards. We'd have to make a change to get that, but yeah, that is also something I've been considering, something like that. Like Reaper's Mark from WoW. Have to look at that one. Reaper's Mark. Woodskin line. Stone skin is now level 16, steel skin is now level 32, diamond skin is now level 44, nature skin is now level 56. Added ability, tree form. Elementalist. Added ability lines, summon Earth Mallet, summon Fire Staff, summon Water Trident, summon Windblade. This has kind of been like a replacement for like summoning Rusty Dagger. Although I'm probably gonna delete that one. I did say I did delete it, but it's still on there. But yeah, so this is the damage and delays are the same, and they have a damaging proc, and the only real difference is like kind of visual and what element the damage proc uses currently. So it's still like maybe an early implementation, maybe it gets additional changes, but it felt kind of cool thematic. It's one of the things I worked on that stream. So, and these are tiered, right? You get one at like 1, 16, 32, 46, and 60. But they are currently on par with a rusty weapon, so not super great, but the fact they do have a proc and it's free item, right? So it may change over time, get a little bit stronger of a weapon, but right now that's just how it is. And I believe the proc damage is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 for the different tiers. Jerby, I mean, yeah, I mean, I did that, but like, I mean, even EverQuest did that, right? After a certain point in their whenever they added those, but yeah. Fleshed out the summon bandage ability line. So there's now summon cloth bandage, summon heavy cloth bandage, and then all the way up all the tiers through linen, I think. I don't know if this was addressed. Will there eventually be epic weapons per class with long quest line? Yes, absolutely, the bush. Can those weapons go to players? Yeah. They're no rent, though. Which means they will, after, if you're logged out, or for like 15 minutes, they'll go away. What's up, Spooey? Yeah, epic armor and weapons. Yeah, so epic armor piece. Like an iconic armor piece. And then obviously an iconic epic weapon is the kind of idea. Thoughts on making damage shields not able to be resisted? Oh, they could still be resisted? I thought that was fixed, but maybe it's not. Bandaging other people for free is legit in this game? Yeah, it's nice. What is the summon stack size? 20? I believe right now it's 4, and it scales by level. But I'm not opposed to tweaking that in the future, or whatever I need to do. Yeah, it should be fixed, I think, Biggs. So, remove the ability, summon Rusty Dagger, and conjure Cloth Bandage. I think Rusty Dagger still exists. I gotta delete that one. Let me do that actually right now. Alright. Into the abyss you go. And conjure Cloth Bandage. So conjure Cloth Bandage was the 20 summoning bandage. But only for Cloth Bandage. I guess I could potentially add like conjure bandage for all the different various spells. It's just like a lot of spells bloat, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's all going in your spell book anyways. Elemental Fury pet buff line, attack speed buff reduced. So, in line with the... Hey, Sean Heidi! Thank you so much for the 6-man raid. Appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome in, Raiders. If you don't know me, you probably do if you're watching PlanetSide 1 content. I'm Nick. I am one of the lead developers here on Monsters and Memories. One of the future lead developers on Planets and Memories. The future MMO FPS phenomenon. Hopefully. We'll see. You know, maybe I'm just too burnt after this game, but I really would love to make an MMO FPS akin to PlanetSide, man. Oh, it's so good. PlanetSide 1 especially. So goddamn good. You hitting up Deadlock? Zeitgeist 9K, thank you for the support on Ko-fi. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. And thank you for the follow as well. I tried Deadlock like way earlier before like the recent big patch. But I was thinking about diving in again just to seeing what changes have happened. I'm not really into like the MOBA FPS hybrid kind of thing, but maybe there's some cool ideas there to kind of take. Starships and Memories? Yeah, that's the expansion for Planets and Memories, where you get starships and you have full space combat. Thank you for being on top of that, Top Speed Beans. We're going to have to bring you on as a consultant. But hey, Sean, thank you again for the raid. I hope you had a good stream tonight. I hope you got some good battles on ye old PS Forever emulator. Little shout out to the PS Forever guys. You guys want to try Planetside 1 in the year of our Lord 2025? That is where you have to do it, because they shut down the official servers. But thank you again. A lot of educational content. Yeah, Sean's been putting together some really good... Sean Heidi has been putting together some really, really good Planetside 1 content, so... Planets and Memories will still release faster than that Kickstarter scam space game. Oh, incredible. Thank you. Will Planets and Memories have a Goblin faction? Well, that depends if we can sucker Goblin into working on another game with us. You know, he might be too busy with his, his indie games and Lambos and whatever he's into after Monsters and Memories pops off, but he does like FPS games, though he may make me make a Halo 3 or Gears of War inspired game, or at least try to. Homecoming server for City of Heroes is pretty lit. Hey, Captain Phoenix Jones, thank you so much for the Prime. Portillo's and Memories? I'll definitely eat some Portillo's while playing Planets and Memories, that's for sure. Yeah, we talked about Halo for an hour at least. Yeah, if you wanna mess with Goblin, be like, Sprint is the best thing that was ever added to Halo. And then every Halo after Halo 3 were the best Halo games. And that Halo Infinite is just god tier gaming. Sounds like he wants Splinter Cell and Memories. Yeah, well, so Planetside 1 definitely had a lot of base infiltration stuff, and I never really got into... Is it Splinter Cell that he was... Splinter Cell? Yeah, like he was showing me all the Splinter Cell stuff, and what I really did like about Planetside 1 was that, bases felt like actual bases, right? Like, you infiltrated them. There was even, an infiltrator role that you played. Obviously, Planetside 2 had it, but it became more of, a kind of stat farming, sniper kind of farmer guy, right? Instead of actually being able to knock out important base assets and, sabotage and assassinate and do all these cool things, right? They kind of made bases in Planetside 2 feel really scuffed feeling. But Planetside 1 definitely had that angle. So I definitely could see where some Splinter Cell inspiration could be pretty cool. Just clip that and send it to him? Yeah. I loved backline Jenny dropping in PS1. So did I. Gotta knock out those tech bennies so the front line doesn't have any tanks and reavers. Lattice system in a PS2, meh. Yeah, they started with that kind of hex system, and then they switched to lattice. The problem with Planetside 2 in my mind is there's too many bases on a continent. It's there's no negative space for really big tank fights and vehicle battles and stuff. It's just okay, we rolled up to another base. Okay, we rolled up to another base, and then they made respawn system and fast travel just way too prevalent. So there was no traveling to bases, and it's just all instant gratification kind of stuff. Now, there is some really nice things about Planetside 2, but I would say that I'm way more in the Planetside 1 camp. Tribes is greater than Planetside? Ryu Champ, fight me? Planetside 1 was very heavily based off of Tribes, actually. Outside of the, obviously, no jetpacks other than the Vanu Max, and then no skiing and stuff. But Planetside 1 is very, base mechanics and stuff, equipment terminals, generators, terminals in general, right? All that stuff is... The bases in Planetside 1 are basically big Tribes bases. in a way, right? Where they have functionality and assets that you need to protect and defend. And Tribes 2 RP was goated. Hey, what's up, Atomic Frog? Welcome in. Good to see you. And welcome. What's up, Puddlefoot? Yeah, it's Thanksgiving Eve, and it's also my birthday Eve as well. My birthday falls on Thanksgiving this year, but happy Thanksgiving Eve to you. Yes, for low pop, like kind of scrim type esports style kind of fights, Tribes is definitely a great competitive game. For sure. I agree with that there. Nick was looking at some race stat changes, and it looks like some races have a higher ratio of stats than others, i.e. the overall stats seem to be higher on some races than others. Is this intended? I don't know that it's not intended, but if it feels overly bad, we can always make adjustments. So if anything like feels like really like it feels like a really bad standout, then definitely let us know. Post in the forums, feedback and stuff. It's like if Tribes was an MMO. Happy early birthday. Hey, thank you, 2Rev. I don't know if you guys remember this, but prior to was it Global Agenda? Was it Global Agenda or was it Tribes? No, it was prior to Tribes Ascend. So Hi-Rez got the rights to do Tribes games, right? So originally they were going to do a game called Tribes Universe. Tribes Universe was going to be an MMO FPS in the Tribes universe. Potentially inspired by PlanetSide. That would have been so freaking cool. Like I don't know, like long term, if I would have liked it as much as just like a PlanetSide style game, because I kind of just like the more traditional run and gun FPS. New reward available, Battlefield 6. Oh my god, Nvidia, are you listening to me? Are you trying to get me on large scale FPS games now that I'm popping off about them? Thanks, Nvidia. Appreciate that. But yeah, Tribes Universe is a canceled MMO FPS from Hi-Rez Studios. And instead, they decided to make Tribes Ascend instead, which just hurts my soul because nobody, like, isn't Tribes Ascend just gone, dead, and buried? Imagine if that MMO FPS got created. Would have been so cool. Here, let me try to find the logo for it, just because it was a cool logo. Yeah. Oh, sorry for the flashbang. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? There's also a Warhammer 40k FPS MMO that kept getting devolved in features till it died. I think it was Dark Crusade, but don't quote me on it. I believe it was called Warhammer 40k Eternal Crusade. And I think originally it was meant to be an FPS MMO, but then they decided to make it like just an FPS, session-based. And yeah, that was super unfortunate. Just give me PlanetSide, Halo, Battlefield 2142, mixed game, and I would be good. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Just buy the PlanetSide IP from Daybreak once you make big M&M dollars. Be cool, wouldn't it? Now, I will say that the PlanetSide IP has been sold to a company. But I believe they licensed PlanetSide 2 back to Daybreak. I'm actually not 100% sure on the whole thing. But, man, it'd be really cool to be able to bring back at least PlanetSide 1. PlanetSide 2 is already running. PlanetSide Arena is kind of an interesting potential. but they kind of went the battle royale route with it, and then so they were like, hey, early access for PlanetSide Arena, and then a little game called I don't know if you guys heard of this one, came out. Apex Legends. So yeah, that was a not great timing for them. And then they tried to do some more session-based stuff. Honestly, if they had just done 200 versus 200 or even greater, like PlanetSide 2 supports like 1,000 plus per continent, per zone. If they had just done like a 500 versus 500 versus 500 like session-based FPS game, MMO FPS game, I think that would have been way cooler than just doing battle royale, massive battle royale, because they made a battle royale game. So what was this? PlanetSide Arena. So basically the premise was, instead of having like one, like solos, duos, trios, quads, you had 12-man squads. And you would have like vehicles and tanks that you could find on the map. So it was like PlanetSide Battle Royale. And like that was cool, but like it just Battle Royale, right? Like it was just oversaturated. It's like, okay, Apex Legends just dropped, like, you know, good luck with this, right? But if they had leaned into what makes PlanetSide unique and just done the whole, hey, we're the biggest FPS session-based game there is, right? We eclipse Battlefield in size. We have a sci-fi kind of shtick, right? Like, that, I think, could have been something. But Battle Royale, it's just going to be like, huh? What? Who cares, right? So that's super unfortunate. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to see PlanetSide 1 official server exists. I think it would be cool to maybe do something with PlanetSide Arena. Like, they could certainly do kind of what I was suggesting. But yeah, they just shut it down, and then that's kind of all there is to it. So, rip. Thankfully, Battle Royale fad is gone. Yeah, but the extraction shooter fad is in full swing. You've got, oh, what's this game? Did you guys see this one? I got sent this recently. PUBG Black Budget. You guys want to guess what kind of game this is? PUBG Black Budget is an extraction shooter built around tension, survival, and the unknown. Join a classified operation and uncover the secrets of a mysterious island trapped in a time loop. PUBG is still alive? Yeah, it is still alive, but seems to try and new stuff. By the way, sorry for all the purely M&M enjoyers here. I really do enjoy talking about other gaming topics a lot. A lot. Game looks pretty nice for the modern style, at least. I think it looks pretty decent. But I mean, a lot of these games look samey, right? But yeah, I mean, another extraction shooter, it's just not it, right? I want an MMO FPS so bad. I don't want to have to be the one that makes it. I just want to play it. If I have to make it, then we'll see what happens. But have you tried Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery? Yes, I have. I tried the like very early alpha builds of it, and then I maybe tried it like one more time after that. Not really big into it, but it's cool. Though I don't know that it's going to be a super successful venture for them, just because of how oversaturated that whole market is. What's their Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery? Yeah, like this hurts to see. And the team that made this, very talented team, but it's just oversaturated. Maybe it's just like, hey, the investors we got want us to make something like this. we have to make this, right? But if those dudes like wanted to make like a different kind of game, some like maybe an MMO, maybe I don't know, something else, right? Like something a little bit more unique for the times, I guess. But yeah, this is kind of like what? This is kind of like a dark and darker kind of fantasy extraction, right? Thanks, Incredible. I appreciate that. Hey, D Loves Puddin', thank you for the Prime. Let me catch up, actually, here. D Loves Puddin', thank you for the Prime. And Captain Phoenix Jones, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in and enjoying the stream. Let me get Planet 65 into the alpha real quick. Zaire, thank you for the tier 1 gifty. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Very nice of you. Let me get the old planet into the alpha. Okay, done and done. And you know what? Let's do let me hit the reset here. Reset entries. Yeah, alpha is live right now. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so I just did a reset on the giveaway. You can do an exclamation point giveaway, and we'll do another key real quick. I've been yapping not about only my life story, but yapping about the life story of many other games. So apologies for that. And thank you so much for tuning into the stream. It's great to see so many of you in here, and thanks for listening to my random yapping. So let's get back to the patch notes. So let's zoom back in a little bit. So again, we'll say Elemental Fury Pet buff line attack speed buff reduced. So this was also the case for all of the primary haste buffs. So this has been reduced. We added the ability Firestorm Shield. So this was meant to be in since forever, but Scroll was not on the vendor, so we added that. Same with Summon Arrows, that was not on the vendor, and Summon Throwing Daggers was not on the vendor, to my knowledge. So these have all been added to the vendor now and are now all available. No, this is a haste nerf, not an Elementalist nerf. In fact, the Elementalist pets got a damage buff. And they got, you know, this is a win for Elementalists. Let's put it that way. This is a win for them. Can Ellie haste their pets? Yeah, with this line of buffs. But it is a primary haste, so if you are grouped with an enchanter, shaman, bard, then there is some loss there, right? It's some diminishing returns, essentially. Speaking of diminishing returns accidentally, well, not accidentally, they kind of snuck into the build. I don't think we made any note of it, but there are some issues with it, including, I think, working in PvE. So we're gonna have to, it was intended to be able to work in PvE if so desired, but I don't know that, you can currently, at least, determine that. Though maybe you can, I have to double check it. And there's also an issue where if you have Sense Magic, you can see the invisible debuff that is essentially kind of like a blocker buff for when you get to the immune portion of the diminishing return. So, yeah. Is this a skill or the concept of diminishing returns? So I just went on a side tangent to basically explain diminishing returns are in. Diminishing returns are where if you cast a debuff on a target multiple times, that the duration gets reduced. Essentially, there's some issues with that. But it's mostly a thing for PvP. Optionally for PvE if we feel that there's some abusive tech that people find. But yeah, it's meant to only be for PvP at the moment, but that might not be the case. I don't know, ZBrush. I thought the art style was kind of cool with Legacy, Steel and Sorcery. Like, I felt like it felt like a modern WoW art style. Like, it wasn't like completely like realism feeling. It was like WoW but modern. I don't know. Like, I really liked the screenshots and stuff, but I think it's kind of just like action-y sword games, like coming out of like a bunch of MMO developers, and like there's already Dark and Darker, there's already other games like that. It's just like another case of it being kind of like a oversaturated market, not like unique enough. Not to say that they didn't do some unique things, but you know, when you're trying to sell a game to people, right? It's the same case as like the PlanetSide Arena thing, right? They had a unique concept, but was it unique enough? Did people recognize that it was unique? Did they realize like, hey, this game is unique because X? They were probably like, nah, it just looks scuffed. I'm gonna go play Apex Legends or Fortnite or PUBG, right? So that's kind of my thoughts on it. No, that won't happen, D-Loves. That won't happen. It's not meant to. Did you give any further thought to making interrupts 100% but on a longer cooldown instead of short but missable? I guess my concern with that would be if you're operating in a smaller group. I think games that are making the interrupt cooldowns longer, like Retail WoW, that's operating under the assumption that you have a 5-man party at all times. So I don't know that there's an issue with making interrupts 100%, maybe. I think, I don't know. I'll give more thought to it, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. But it may feel bad in smaller parties, I guess. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's intended, right? Maybe you have to find other mechanisms of interrupting, like Mez or Stun or what have you. Actual skill cooldowns missing feels bad. Yeah. Let us know how it feels in this patch. It may feel a little bit better, but if not, then I can always up the hit modifier for those abilities. Because they do have a bonus hit modifier, a pretty sizable one. But, yeah, and then also gear for Dex, right? See if Dex is helping that a lot. No cooldown if it misses? Well, then you would just be spamming the button until it hits, right? That would feel kind of weird. Healer died today because they were feared off of a cliff? Oof. Nice, Lazy Lion's Den. Yeah, I do enjoy. I really did have a lot of enjoyment on my cleric using the stun in the that one tower in Night Harbor that I won't reference necessarily, but there was like some nasty wizards in there, and like stunning a target felt really good because the wizards just nuked so hard. It was like, I have to interrupt this or somebody's gonna be die or close to be dead. Like, alright, so let's get back to it. Fighter can now critical strike and crippling blow. Now becomes berserk at low health. And that would activate the crippling blows. Merciless assaults. Now also causes your melee attacks to critical or crippling blow 100% of the time, depending on berserk status. Physical damage increase on Merciless Assault lowered from 100% to 50%. Frenzy weapon damage changed from 50% to 20% at level 1 to 40% at level 60. So a little bit of a nerf at the top end, and then kind of a bigger nerf from like the early levels. Battle Cry cooldown increased from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. Unnerving Shout cooldown increased from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. I'm not sure, Yuan. I don't know that it affects NPCs. I think it's just player fighters. Frenzy and Shield Slam now use the melee global cooldown. Inquisitor, Mana Burn line. Cast time reduced from 3 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Increased damage from amount of mana drained from 50% to 75%. Now has access to abilities Haste, Adrenaline, and Rapidity. Dominate the Mind duration increased from 15 seconds to 1 minute. Silence duration increased from 5 seconds to 6 seconds. Added ability Mandate of Silence. This is a cooldown-based ability that is an AoE silence. I think it hits your 10 nearest, 10 targets nearby. What's the melee global cooldown for Frenzy / Shield Slam mean? It means that you can't use Frenzy like instantly as you're using like Rend and or Armor Break. So now Armor Break, Rend, and Frenzy all have a global cooldown. So if you want to play optimally, you can't just spam all those buttons. You actually have to like press the right button. Necromancer. Hey, wait a second. This looks messed up. Let me... This isn't right. There's a lot more notes for Necromancer, right? Uh-oh. Oh, did I miss this note? Added spell damage absorb ability line with abilities Spell Ward, Mana Ward, Magic Ward, Arcane Ward, and Mystical Ward. So this is kind of like your Holy Barrier line, except it's magic specific. Sorry, let me get the other Necromancer notes. Okay, so Necromancer. Pet HP and damage increased. Mentioned that earlier. Added pet attack speed buff ability line with abilities Unrelenting Dead, Unyielding Dead, and Inexorable Dead. Now has access to the Melody Disease dot line. So it's a... They get it like a tier after Shaman does. But they do have more dots now. I'm also missing another note on here, actually. This is a biggie too. So, let me get this in here. 1 second, please. Sorry for the inconvenience. Added HP leech ability line. Uh-oh, Ollie's typing? What's going on? With abilities... Leech. Life, Force. Leech Essence. Leech Spirit. Leech Soul. And Leech Anima. Sorry, guys. Copy paste failure or something happened. I don't know. So you get pet haste. You get disease dots line. You get ability aspect of vampirism. So if you guys are familiar with something like Vampiric Embrace in EQ, pretty much the same thing. This is basically like the Shadow Knight life tap, life drain aura, but single target self buff for... Like, now I gotta make sure that I actually made this a self buff. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, it should be. So, Bone Knights. If you're a Bone Knight enjoyer, you'll greatly like this one. And there may be some more support coming for that kind of Bone Knight style gameplay. So, be excited. Be excited if you want to be a little bit of a Bone Knight. Yeah, you're welcome, Russery. It's fun to support other alternative playstyles. Melee Necro, yeah. Any ETA on shutdown length? I have no idea. Should be pretty fast, though, if I had to guess. Do Knights get triple attack? No, they don't, D-Loves. They do not. I think it's a fighter, gonna be fighter monk. But I'll have to think about that. So I guess, yeah, so somebody mentioned Pally's. I guess this is technically a general ability thing, right? Because currently, with Supplication, I believe Paladins would get this, right? I don't know if I make it Cleric only or just let Paladins have their fun. I think probably just let them have their fun. So, yeah. So Paladins also get this. So added ability, Summoned Minor Lifestone. This was supposed to be in the game, but again, the scroll was not available on the merchant, so that was the first tier of the Lifestone line. And then added HP Leech ability line with abilities Leech Life Force, Leech Essence, Leech Spirit, Leech Soul, and Leech Anima. So it's a dot that is a hot as well for yourself, basically. Ranger Woodskin line. Woodskin remains at level 6. Stone Skin is now level 24. Steel Skin is now level 40. Diamond Skin is now level 52. And no longer has access to Nature Skin. True Strike Aura moved to level 2. Added ability, Hearth of the Ranger. Hearth of the Ranger is a Ranger-specific campfire that has some like additional bonuses. I have to double check what they are. I'm not sure. I didn't put this ability in. Chip did. So I have to double check what he did with that one. But, yeah. I don't know, D-Loves. I don't know. How about they get crit by mobs? I think that's a better idea. That'd be pretty cool. We could get them crits. I feel like they should get crit by mobs. And Elemental should as well. Shadow Knight. Aura of the Unholy. Haste reduced from 5% level 1 to 20% level 60 to 10%. Just flat. All levels. Ranged Haste still has old values until next update. This may change as well. Obviously ranged haste is still a little bit higher. But that's a bug. That should be fixed after this patch. That's about to happen. Shaman. Added ability, Bear Form. Rapidity move from level 44 to level 40. I don't know if I actually added anything to Bear Form. I think it's just an illusion currently. Yeah. So we gotta do something about that. Bear form should give HP and AC. Oi, Nick, any sneaky stress tests coming up? I don't know. We're really working on getting beta ready. But I could see us doing a playtest, little sneaky playtest. Beta by the end of the year? That's the goal. Was there any changes to the stat descriptions? For example, strength was listed as increasing melee damage, but no stat was mentioned for range damage. Yeah, like I said, the what we've put out on the stats really needs to be edited and modified. It's not accurate, and it needs to be edited. It's somewhat accurate, but it doesn't give all the information, and yeah, it could just be worded better. As much as I want to play, I would vote skip the playtest if it's going to put you guys behind. Yeah, no, that makes sense. There's definitely a lot of work that goes into a playtest, so we'll probably do it when it makes sense for us. Hey, what's up, Sadmans? So Shaman, we said added ability bear form, rapidity moved from level 44 to level 40, melody mana cost reduced from 25 to 20. This wasn't in the initial patch, but should be in the patch that's coming out right now, this hotfix. Infectious disease mana cost reduced from 55 to 45. Same deal here, should be addressed. Irking illness moved from level 44 to level 40. And virulent virus moved from level 60 to level 52. Wizard now has a chance to land critical blasts with spells. You want to see the bard notes? There you go. Patch 0.20.20.1 hotfix. Moving spells and abilities around to different pages of the book now function properly again. Auto UI scaling has been removed for now. We will revisit this idea at a later date. Monk, Bard, and Rogue class trainers will now train the Safe Fall skill. Boom. Hearth of the Ranger can now be scribed. Summoned weapons have been rebalanced to better reflect intended damage. And then, obviously, I mentioned a couple things like this. That melody, infectious disease, mana cost should be properly reflecting. Yeah, wizards can crit on their spells. No, it can be scribed. I think Ollie meant it fixes that it can't be scribed. Does the SK haste aura stack with primary, secondary haste? Yes. It's considered, well, no, not secondary. It's considered a secondary haste, to my knowledge. So it wouldn't stack with the Bard secondary haste. But all the haste stack with the class specific haste, like fighter, archer, rogue, monk haste. Will it be possible to add plus crit gear for fighters and wizards? Is that something you want to add, or will it always be a set amount of built into the class? We could roll that into stats. We could add it on like a specific stat for it. Go back to Necro changes. The profile picture is scowling Zapafaz. He's firing a firearm. So he's definitely scowling. He's like, it's a little Planetside 1 guy. It's a Planetside 1 concept art guy. If you guys were ever wondering where that comes from, that's you guys know I'm a Planetside 1 junkie. Planetside in general. Your bow sounds like it's from Planetside now? Uh-oh. Yeah, I think the guys aren't around right now, the sound team. You see Adrenaline? Yeah. Did you ever get into or look at Dust 514, given your PS affinity? I did look at it, but it wasn't it like console based and like not super MMO FPS-y. I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I know some people were really into it. But I was a PC gamer. You know, we had Planetside 1, so it was just like, eh. I know that Eve is making a new FPS game, right? What is it called? New Eve FPS game. Is it like kind of more extraction-y? No. Let me see. Why not? Eve Vanguard is a brutal sci-fi shooter. Scavenge resources, upgrade your gear, and outmatch rivals in a universe at war. Seems cool. I definitely like sci-fi FPS. It feels cool. I just wish this was like on a massive scale, right? Maybe it is. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it is. But I would really like there to be more MMO FPS games. It seems cool though. Like even it, like honestly, if there's like a small scale Planetside 1, like I like the mechanics of Planetside 1. The numbers are cool, but the mechanics of the game I like. So if there's something like Planetside 1, but isn't 500 players per zone, I would still be into it. I mean, we played the Planetside emulator with like 30, 40 people, right? So there is something there. So I could be into something like this, I think. And potentially, maybe I would have been into something like Dust 514. I think folks are cooling on it. I see that Destiny 2 is closest to MMO shooter. It's just kind of meh. Well, meh. Well, Destiny 2 is a PvE shooter. It has like a PvP thing you could queue up for, right? But I'm talking about a strictly PvP MMO FPS, right? Like I don't want to shoot people. I don't want to shoot mobs specifically. Like, I don't want to shoot like bullet spongy mobs. I want to shoot people. I want a PvP game. Like shooters are PvP to me. Like I think sci-fi PvE MMO FPS would be really cool. But I think Destiny has a good handle on that, and I think there needs to be a PvP MMO FPS with cool mechanics. It needs cool mechanics. It needs a cool metagame. It needs. What if the players can be mobs like Aliens vs Predator versus Marine? My skepticism with that is like Natural Selection did this essentially. Notorious 188, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gifties. Thank you so much. How generous of you. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. So my skepticism with that is like being too isometric, right? Like if my enemy is like an alien dude who's like jumping around and like I want to have a gun battle. I don't want to like shoot a Zergling in PvP, if that makes sense. I actually like just want a gun battle going on. LK Jeremy, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gifties. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. You plan on playing Eminem? I do, yeah, I love Eminem. Still figuring out like my plans for that, but I definitely will play. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to play how I want to play. I'll probably save that for like Agilin, because I don't know. Like I'm obviously not developing Agilin, so like it'll be cool to play something like on one of the Agilin playtests. I went really hard and it was the first one to hit max level. That was fun. That was a ton of fun. I played it the way I wanted to play it. But when Monsters and Memories drops, I'm going to be so busy like fixing things, reacting to certain things, or not reacting. And then it's just going to be hard. And then like it's like, hey, you already know the game. You already know this and that. So it's like, woohoo for you kind of thing, right? So I'll never be able to play Monsters and Memories the way I want to play it. But that being said, I will play it, yeah. I wish the Wolfenstein enemy territory could get more loving. I know there's still private servers, but it's flooded with custom caca. Yeah, I don't know. If you enjoyed Wolfenstein enemy territory, I would recommend looking into the Return to Castle Wolfenstein community. They run pickup games pretty frequently, and they even play on some of the enemy territory maps nowadays. They just ported them back to Return to Castle Wolfenstein. But there is an active community playing Return to Castle Wolfenstein still. Return to Castle Wolfenstein was one of my favorite FPS games of all time. That was the one I played the most competitive FPS in, and really enjoyed like the kind of like 80/80 gameplay and like just gunplay and everything. Like I really love Return to Castle Wolfenstein. So if you're into enemy territory, definitely check out the pickup games for that they're doing on Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Rayland 2Cav, thank you so much for the 10 tier 1 gifties. Thank you. That is so generous of you. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. And yeah. You ever get into Battlefield 2142? No, I never played, really. It'd be cool to check it out, though. I know there was a good amount of inspiration, kind of, well, there's like back and forth inspiration with like PlanetSide and PlanetSide 2 and BF 2142. So it'd be cool to check that game out. Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Quake 3 Arena was my childhood. Dude, same. Any reason Necromancers got Melody.line one rank later than Shaman do, rather than starting them at the same spot? It just felt like, I don't know, it felt right. Like I wanted Shamans to have something they're good at, right? Necro already has a ton of stuff, ton of dots, so it's like, this feels like kind of okay, but I don't know. Like maybe it's wrong, but just kind of what I went with. Still want a merchant class like RO, but better in M&M. It'd be fun. We're definitely gonna do some fun stuff with like merchant, like auctioning and stuff. Not auctioning, but you know. Commerce and selling items and stuff. We're not doing an auction house, but we'll do some cool stuff. 1 sub equal 1 Kirkland for Nick's birthday. Hey, Augustus 424, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. How is Shaman Solo? Are they going to be able to go 1v1 versus nasty mobs? No torpor so far. Well, they do get hots, and the hots are pretty strong. They got a little bit mana reduction on their 2 disease dots at the lower tier, tier 1 and tier 2, Melody and infectious disease. And now you can root rot, because rooting does not get broken by what's it called?
Death to Gnomes just cheered 500 bits.
Death to Gnomes, thank you so much for the 500 biddies. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Very generous of you. Glad you're enjoying the stream. But yeah, shamans are going to be able to root rot now because root doesn't get broken by dot damage. Root rot is my core mechanic. Woot woot. Nice, Scotty. Glad you like that. Oh, music stopped. Did I ever press the button for the other giveaway? I feel like no, right? Let's do that. Do exclamation point giveaway. I'm gonna be running it here shortly. Can druids get a food summon called Goodberry? They got cure berries. They got cure berries. I don't know that we could. I guess they're the legally distinct good berries. But I don't know that they're as good as good berries. No, they don't, Cowboy. Like I said, they're not as cool as good berries, but they are a nod to them in a way, right? Better than dingleberries, yeah. Elementalists get root or snare. You get root through the earth pet, and then you get snare via using the instant cast nuke line blast of water. Actually, you can convert your root into a snare, I believe it is. But yeah, it's like it uses like a conditional, essentially. Oh yeah, or use the water pet. The water pet has a snare, yeah. What am I saying? Alright, let's press the button. Tanden Nake 101. Tanden Nake 101. You win.
Engivoka just cheered 100 bits.
Whisper me your Eminem account, email, and Discord, please, here on Twitch. Let me add Tandanaki to the list. And then, who is it? Planet 60 something? Planet. Planet 65? Alright. Alright. But hey, I think it might be a raid out angle soon. Just wanted to get through the patch notes and get you guys up to date on stuff. It's been a lot of fun. Holy crap, there's almost 400 of you in here. That's crazy. That's surely to drop here in a second. But hey, thank you so much for the donations and all the subs and stuff. Really appreciate it, especially given my whole birthday being tomorrow and everything, and you guys just being awesome and always supporting me and the team and the game and everything. It's really, really cool. Is anybody from the team streaming tonight? Let me check that. Anyone streaming tonight? And then let me also look at who is streaming on Twitch. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it should be a good birthday, you know? A little Thanksgiving dinner, a little family time. Never hurts. You can be? Yeah, if you want to, Zach, go for it. Fire it up and We'll send him over. Guys, stick around for a minute or two. ZBrush is going to be firing up the stream, and then we'll raid over there. Little character art stream. Hey, you should do at least a key giveaway too, Zach. We'll entice everybody to stick around, you know? Feel free to do a key. What is new with the lighting changes? I think the texture color comes out like natty, basically. It essentially, there isn't like some like weird sheen on it, so you actually get the true colors of the texture. I'm not sure what else, but that's my layman's understanding of it. Excuse me. ZBrush said he'll do a key, so if you want the giveaway train to continue, head on over to ZBrush. We'll raid him here shortly. Let's see. Is he up yet? Not yet. Give it a second, guys. Give it a second. No way. Is your birthday tomorrow too, Zach? Everybody's birthday is tomorrow, right? All right, looks like his stream's up. Let's get that raid going, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Thank you so much for all the lovely donations and subs and support and kind words. And it's been a fun stream tonight. So yeah, we'll head on over to ZBrush to keep the fun going. Raid ZBrushed. And yeah, thanks again so much. Have a good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll see you next time. And I'll get the YouTube VOD up immediately so you guys can check it out and send it to people that might want to see it. All right, cheers. Have a good one. Good night. Goodbye. Thanks again for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that.